Women carry stories of strength that are often unseen. Stories of resilience, courage, healing, leadership, and transformation. Across communities and generations, women are creating change in powerful ways by speaking truth, supporting one another, breaking cycles, building safe spaces, and turning pain into purpose. Empowerment is not only about being heard, it's about reclaiming identity, owning the stories, and believing that our experiences can inspire change for others. This edition shines a light on women who lead with compassion, advocate with courage, and continue to challenge barriers with determination and hope. Every story shared here is a reminder that change begins when women are given the space to heal, grow, and thrive. Together, not only imagining a better future, but creating it.
Today's topic is about trauma, and it's about the safe space, understanding the FGM trauma, creating safe space for healing and support. How many of us try to understand what FGM, even we are not FGM survivors, trying creating that safe space for them, it holds a huge and important place. Now, I mentioned before the FGM and what is FGM, but I'm going to remind again what's the FGM. FGM is a procedure that involves partial or total removal of external female genital for non-medical reason. Now, FGM is often informed by traditional circumciser or a cutter who do not have any medical training whatsoever. But in some countries, it may be done by medical professionals, most of time without anesthetic. It can have a long life, physical and emotional impact. Now, trauma, when it comes to the trauma and its impact, trauma is when something overwhelms our sense of safety. And as an FGM survivor, safety does not come easy. Think about the time you felt overwhelmed. What makes you feel safer? There is a different response to trauma. I remember I have gone through each stage of the trauma, whether fight, flight, freeze, or fall. When they are in a fight mode, they tend to be angry, they tend to be controlling, they tend to be irritated. Sometimes bullying. Now, in a flight mode, the person or the FGM survivor tend to become alcoholic or workaholic to try and avoid thinking about their trauma. They become overthinking. They think about what people say, think about what they do, think about what happened or how they can please other people. They have this anxiety of not being seen or being heard. They are hyperactivity. They have that hyperactivity. They become perfectionists. Now, when they are in a freeze response, the FGM survivor tend to shut down completely. They feel exhausted. They are indecisions. They become indecisive. They feel stuck. They feel disassociated. Now, when they are in the phone mode, they become people pleaser. They become overwhelming. They have that lack of identity. They lose their identity. They become so codependent on others to make them happy, to make them seen. They want to be seen. They want to be loved. They become so dependent on them. they become self-criticize. They criticize themselves so much to the point where no matter who says positive things about them, they end up feel criticized. They criticize themselves. Now, unhealed child trauma. FGM survivor go through so much. They fighting a battle. They fighting unhealed childhood trauma. Now, when they fight, when they are in a fight mode, they tend to shut down. And that's when they become very harsh about themselves. They become so harsh. They criticize themselves. They have deep fear of abandonment. They don't like the feel of being lonely. Even if sometimes they want to be lonely. An FGM survivor tend to doubt themselves because they don't have self-trust. They don't know how to trust themselves. They become people pleaser. All they want to do is please others. They want to please others so they can be seen, heard, or loved. Some FGM survivor, they become so perfectionist. They have that perfectionist behavior where they want to do everything right, no matter what. They don't care about who says what. They want to do everything right, correct, in a correct way. They want to become so perfect. Everything needs to be perfect. And they have that perfect tendency. They tend to suppress their feelings. And that's when the emotions break out. Like when FGM survivors tend to suppress their own feelings, they tend to hide from other people. They hide from themselves. They hide from everyone around them. They just don't want to. And they feel highly criticized of themselves. They find themselves often in an unhealthy relationship. And that happens a lot because when they go through FGM, they lose the self-love, they lose self-esteem, they lose self-identity, they lose so much. And when they be in a relationship, they trying to get all that from the partner, from a friend, from anyone that they can give them that, which is made them feel exhausted. Even the partner or the friends or the family, they feel exhausted because of it. FGM survivor, when they go through unhealed trauma, they don't know who they are anymore. They truly don't know who they are. They have difficulty trusting and being vulnerable because they think vulnerability is a weakness and they don't want to show that. They don't want to show the weakness to anybody else because they have the fear someone may take advantage of that them being vulnerable. They tend to avoid thinking about things that make them feel uncomfortable. They don't like being uncomfortable. They always want to put themselves in a comfort zone all the time. Because comfort where they think they belong. They are unable to regulate their emotions. They really say no. They struggle with boundaries. As a FGM survivor, they struggle with boundaries. It is very hard for them to just say no to someone, because they know it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy to say no. It's not an easy to reject anyone because they want to be seen. They want to be heard. When an FGM survivor go through healing, or they want to heal from childhood trauma, they need to accept what has occurred. What happened, they need to accept that. They need to accept that it is not their fault. They need to reach out for help. Learn that what trauma triggers, or what triggered the trauma. Distance yourself from toxic people. Reduce your day-to-day stress by walking, doing yoga, breathing exercise, singing, dancing, doing music, cooking, whatever makes you feel relaxed and happy. Because healing from the trauma, it is not an easy thing. Identify and challenge the negative beliefs. Engage in activities that brings you joy, and happiness. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop criticizing who you are. Feeling safe for you as an FGM survivor, it's not an automatic thing. For someone who has experienced trauma, safety is not an automatic. It is not about being physical safe. It is about feeling safe in the body, in your own body, in the relationship that you are in the moments that you live daily or throughout the day, throughout the week. As an FGM survivor, tell yourself or ask yourself, what does it feeling safe look like for me? What does it look like for me being safe? Sometimes knowing what to expect reduces fear. For example, here is what we'll be doing today. Have the choice. You have the choice. Take control back. You can share as much or little as you want. You can slow down. You don't have to go or walk or say or be in the same pace as other people. Now, if you are not an FGM survivor and you're listening to FGM survivor, believe them. Believe their story. Believe what they say to you. Because being believed and not questioned or doubt help a survivor of FGM to heal so much. The fact that you go out of your way to say thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm so sorry that you went through this. It creates a huge, huge, huge safe space for them. And as an FGM survivor, please don't have that pressure. No pressure at all. Silence is allowed. Know that not everyone feels safe to speak. And I know some of FGM, non-FGM survivors, the people who try to understand FGM, they try to help FGM survivor, they want to push them to speak. They want to push them to share their experience and how they feel. That is not the case. And just wanted you to know not everyone feels safe enough to speak. not everyone. So just be mind of that when you speak to FGM survivor. Give them the space. Let them share what they want to share. Don't pressure them. Allow them to have that silence. Because sometimes silence, there is a healing in silence. Allow them to have that silence within them. Because only when they have silence inside them, or because silence gives them that control of, okay, I am in control. I can share whatever I want to share. Nobody pressurizing me. Nobody telling me what to speak or what to say or how to say it. All the time. Remember, if you are an FGM survivor, trauma is not a weakness. It is absolutely not. It's a strength. It's something that you go through to grow through. Because trauma, it's in your body, doing the best thing to survive. Real safety is something that you rebuild slowly and in a connection with others. It's not something that you rush it. It's not something, it's same as healing. It's not something that you push yourself just to do, because that is not the case. Remember, take your time. Take your time to feel safe. Take your time to understand your own trauma, understand how you feel, understand where you come from. Because it's not an easy thing. Remind yourself that you are not weak. Because most of the time we've been told you are weak, you are that. We are not. You are not weak, you are healing. Have self-compassion and self-love. Take time. Take for yourself. Because you matter. Remember, you are in control of your life. And what you share out there. You don't have to share your story if you don't want to. You are safe. You are just safe. Know that. Every time you feel you are not safe, remind yourself that you are safe and you are just amazing the way you are. Until I see you then,